With us right now, Thomas Jones. He's a four-time NASA Space Shuttle crew member. Jones actually helped complete the International Space Station. For our international audience, if you would, talk to us about John Glenn, his place in history, why is it so important? What did he mean to you?
John Glenn was an American hero who represented the best qualities that the country put together to start the race to the moon. And as one of the original 7 Mercury astronauts, he was under constant press scrutiny. There was an awareness all over the nation that this was a very risky endeavor to put humans into space. The U.S. was lagging behind the Soviet Union in the space race, and his single orbital flight, 5 hours in February of 1962, catapulted the U.S. from a position of trailing the Russians to one of being back in the race. So America was back with his space flight, and he seemed to embody all of the traits of integrity and courage and skill that the space race represented in America. So he just became a national symbol of that can-do attitude. Let's catch up. Let's get to our goal of putting a human on the moon. And he kept that quality, that hero quality, even as he transitioned into a political career. And so I got to meet him in 1998 when he came to train at NASA for his space shuttle mission on the Shuttle Discovery. And it was a delight to see somebody I had lionized as a boy, admired as a hero. I admired his career and so much wanted to be like him. So now I get to work with a colleague named John Glenn, shake hands with him in the elevator, ask him how the training is going, and to have him recognize you as a colleague, that meant so much to me. All of us astronauts thought, well, there are two kinds of astronauts. There's us and there's John Glenn up here.
Wow, wow. I had the great fortune back in the 1980s to interview James Irwin, who was the 8th man to walk on the moon. And I remember asking him, what do you think when you look up in the sky and you see the moon at night? Because it must be different than the rest of us. So I want to ask you kind of a similar question. When you look up at the sky at night and think about the fact that you've been where so many of us wish or dream that we could be, you're one of the lucky ones who's actually been there. What do you think about when you gaze out at the stars at night? I mean, what's it like for you?
Thinking back on my space experience is almost a dreamlike feeling. You can hardly believe that you were up there at the International Space Station. When I see it go overhead at night, it's just this brilliant star going across the heavens, and I think, how could I have had my hand on the outside of that space station? It's going at 5 miles a second, but that was my job. And to fly on the space shuttle on 3 science missions and then help build the space station, I get a great sense of satisfaction that that outpost is still up there representing our best hopes for future space exploration. And it's also, it reminds me of the many friendships I developed with the people in mission control, with cosmonauts and the other partners in our space station endeavor, and with my crewmates. Our lives depended on each other, and I think that the most satisfaction I get from my memories is that I made these friendships that are going to last a lifetime.
So do you go back and watch Gravity over and over again to try and relive the experience? Or?
The filmmakers lately have been doing a great job with the visuals of spaceflight in The Martian and in Gravity, Interstellar, and so on. And they sometimes come close to capturing the camaraderie, and that's the real essence of it, is people doing things together in space. By yourself, you'd have no chance of success. As a team, you can really do tremendous things together. So, I live vicariously through watching my colleagues do things on the space station today, and I sure want to watch them go to the moon again and eventually to Mars.
Tom, thanks so much.
You're welcome.